crazy. Alright, so I don't know if... Listen. Alright, so welcome to Park Automotive. Downtime, kind of, but it's a Saturday. And though I work Saturdays, I usually don't take on big jobs on Saturdays because of this. This is a '07 Chrysler Sebring with a 2.4. It's getting a timing chain on it with new phasers, exhaust, and cam. These are your old guides. This is your old chain. It's new. And what happened was they send me the stationary guide, but they don't send me the pivot. And we actually ordered these, and it took 2 days to come in. So it was, I made one video where I said getting the stuff from the dealer. Now don't get me wrong, getting it from the dealer is where you really want to go on every part. But man, I just don't get it. They don't. I already pulled most of it apart because it's only a 5-hour job. I figured get it apart, put it back together, and be done with it. And sometimes it's hard to make these videos. But anyway, so I'll go over this one. What was happening is it had a random misfire. No cylinder specific. And I think it may have had cam, variable timing or cam sensor code. I'm not exactly sure. It was intermittently pulling the code. It didn't have station at idle. It was noticeable, but not too noticeable. It was kind of looping. Idle good, and a little loop. Idle good, and a little loop. Very minimal. And there was no other indication, no failed parts. But then what I did observe, and you're not going to be able to see it, I actually broke them free. I've been waiting for them to come back with things, so I'm going to take it off real quick. And let's see. All right, maybe, I wonder if you can see it. Let me see, yeah. Okay, so you might have to lower this thing. Let's see. This is a trans jack. So anyway, I'm gonna move this just slightly forward. You're not gonna be able to really see it, but right now I'm gonna take off the I'm gonna take off the exhaust phaser on here. It's just the cam gear, basically. But I think somebody was in this already. I'm not sure. It does have about, you know what, I don't even know the mileage on this. I know we talked to this gentleman about 1.5 years ago because he had a timing chain cover leak. And I said, well, when it's time to do the service, then we'll do the timing chain, do the timing. Okay, and this is what I found. I don't know if it was, I guess somebody was already in there before, and it's where the spring goes in here, it's all chipped out. Maybe somebody was trying to crank it on there. Maybe they were trying to crank it on, and they split it, but I think what was happening, because I can even move the spring using my finger, I think the exhaust timing was off slightly, causing this. I don't know, honestly, I don't know why it would be like that, but it is. Anyway, that being said, the chain was a little loose, not really too much. It pulled up on time. The only thing that I had a problem with, or at least when I pulled the valve cover and I spun this around, because this is the only thing I could find wrong. I mean, all components were good. It was intermittently throwing a PO300 and maybe every 500 miles. You know, this gentleman don't drive his car as much. Anyway, so. And I'm going to kind of probably cut this short. I got this pretty much clean. I'm hoping today. This is a Chrysler, and I had another video with a Jeep Compass. Jeep Compass, where it had a 2.4 motor. This is a 2.4 motor. This is basically the same setup as that motor. Here's crazy. I'm going to turn this thing around so it can kind of see me while I'm talking. And then now I got to jack it all the way back up. I don't even. Okay, so anyway. And when I'm going to replace these, I bought the new bolts. There are some of these bolts that are torque to yield, meaning once you torque them. I'm closed today, so I can smoke while I talk. Torque to yield. So when you pull off these cam phaser bolts, the bolts that come in it, as you can see on the old ones, though it's not stretched. I mean, you'd have to use there is a way to measure them, but you see right here, no thread. Bolts right in. This is from the factory. So maybe somebody reused the old bolts. If they did it, I don't know why the things are tore up. I didn't find anything in the pan or anything like that that would cause that. It could just be defective. All that being said, I always buy the new bolts, which I have them right here. Because when you're going to torque them down, just say hypothetically the bolt is stretched. Then when you're torquing it down into the cams, you could literally snap it off inside there, bottom out, and snap it off. Or it bottoms out, the bolt's stretched, but it's not fully tight. And in which that case, you gotta pull it all back off and put them back on. So it's just simpler just to replace everything new, so you don't have a problem in the long run. On these right here, on the new, this is the crank gear, and I'll show you in a minute, but the crank gear is set up. If this was on the car, it would be at 9 o'clock, which would be about there. And this would be your oil. This is your oil chain for your oil pump, and this is your crank chain. Now, to change the chain, you have to drop the oil pan to do it. To be honest, man, it's not stretched or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, because you can get to the tensioner and everything, and I'll show you in a minute, and then you can loosen it up. Where's the old chain? Okay, so on these, this is the old one that came out of here, and there's a little deal inside here. It's like a gear driven, and what you do is you just use a little tiny screwdriver, similar to this, right? A little tiny screwdriver. You stick it into here, and you kind of just move the teeth back, and then you push it in, and then you put a little. I save all these little. These are actually for tensioners. For the tensioner guide, they're good for using timing. I save a bunch of different sizes in my timing box, depending on what type it is, on thickness or depth. On these, doing the timings on this, it's almost kind of idiot proof. You have, man, I'm pissy. I could have had this done already. Anyway, yeah, hold on. Yeah, what's up? I'm working.